Okay guys, Jeeping with Johnson here. This will be my first YouTube video. If you like similar content to what you're about to see, check me out at Jeeping with Johnson on Instagram. So far that's all I've got. It's all about Jeeps, wrenching, wheeling. If it's off-road, you name it, I do it. So this is a high pinion Dana 30 project going into my 2001 XJ. If you want to know my Jeeps, check out the Instagram and get to know the Jeeps, what I got, etc., etc. So just an overview. The HP Dana 30 is a bolt-in for TJs, Cherokees, XJs, and is a simple upgrade due to it being a high pinion, meaning the ring and pinion pulled together instead of pushing away. I'll show that later on in the video. This video will just be a teardown video, and obviously it's on the bench, so it'll be some things will be harder on the bench, some things will be easier on the bench versus under the vehicle. So this video will be removing ball joints, axles, differentials so I can do seals later and clean the tubes out. So let's get started. Okay guys, we're back with the axle up on jack stands. Let's go ahead and drain the differential fluid. I don't know what it's going to look like. I think it's going to look fine because I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace for $100. And the guy has clearly done some work to it. He couldn't remember what all he had done, but he was getting ready to put it in a TJ, but backed out for some reason. So I feel like I got a pretty good deal on this. So let's crack the diff open and see what we got. These are typically a 1/2 inch. I've had to use 13s before as well. So all these are turning out to be loose. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. We're about to find out. I see fresh RTV around the diff cover here, so somebody's been in here for some reason. Grab a tool. Fingers crossed everything is good in here. I have high hopes, but who knows? Put an extra bolt back in so we don't make a huge mess. more hammer. There we go. The hammer never fails. There appears to be no diff fluid, so it smells fine. There's no slack in the diff, and the ring and pinion look excellent. There's no wear, no pitting. Just give it some spins here and see. Everything is nice and tight. Everything feels right. There's no play on the carrier bearings. So I think we're fine there. This is also another good thing about this axle. It is the same gear pattern as my Cherokee 355. So I don't have to mess with gears or anything as of right now. I want to go lower in the future, but for now, 355 will do just fine. So yeah, I think we're fine for now. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we're back. I had to resituate some things so I could get the passenger side out, which is the longer side. For this, you're going to need a 13mm 12-point socket. I went ahead and broke these free before the video just to save some time. All the bolts on this axle are loose. So he was nearing a project. Now let's see if these will come loose. Not too bad. Definitely been in there for a while. So let's get this side out. I'm not going to pick up on it and try to keep it off the seal because there's going to be a new seal going in. There's some pretty decent pitting on this shaft on the outside where it's exposed, so I'm not sure if these will be good. They can be used as spares just to get me from here to there. Here's what I mean by the bolts they use. It is I get the focus. It is a 12-point only bolt head. So that side wasn't too bad either. Again, there's some pretty decent pitting, a very noticeable loss in diameter. Not as bad as the passenger side or the driver's side shaft. This is the passenger side. So with those out of the way, we can go ahead and pull the diff. I believe those carrier bolts, the bearing cap bolts are 5/8, I think. So let me go see. Yep, they are a 5/8. These can be a little tighter, so we'll see how easy these come out. I had hoped that I had all my tools I needed laid out for the video, but of course that's not the case. I should know what I need for this because I've done axles like this This is probably my sixth axle, sixth or seventh. Now when you pull these off, they have to stay on the side you got them off of, and they have to be up or down. In this case, somebody has been in here before. They have put a like a punch mark right there, and then the corresponding one, to let you know, is right here. So I will keep these. I will keep them laid back there in the same orientation, even though they are marked for each side. I will keep them laid out, so it just less I've got to think about. And same with this one. They put two punch marks in this one, and 2 punch marks on the gasket surface on that side. Sometimes the carriers can be a little hard to get out, and they should be. They shouldn't just fall out on their own. So let's see what we got here. On some axles, the shims are going to be on the outside of the carrier, on the outside of the carrier bearing. On Dana 30s, they're on the inside, so it makes it a lot easier pulling these out. You don't have to hold shims and the bearings and the bearing races and try to get everything in at once. So let me go grab a pry bar and see if this will come out. Okay, so it was a decent little snug fit, so that should be all good. And same with the bearing caps. Keep each race with the bearing you pulled it off of, so don't get those mixed up either. Okay, with that snatched out of there, I can show you, it'll be hard to tell on the camera, but all the gears look, there we go, that's a pretty decent shot. All the gears look excellent. There's no pitting, no crazy wear, they're not sharp at all. They look really good. So the axle seals, are definitely new. I'm pretty sure the previous owner put them in. You can look and tell that they're brand new, but in the next video you guys will see of this axle, I will be putting in some armor on it just to beef it up a bit. So I'm going to do some tube sleeves, and I'll be welding, so those seals might get fried. I don't know. I don't want to chance it. So I've got some new Spicer seals over on the shelf. They will be going in this when all the welding is done. More to come in the next video for that. There's no need to pull the pinion out later on. The high pinion seals are very rare to leak anyway, so I'm going to leave it be for now. If it were to start leaking later on after it's installed in the vehicle, even, I can just pull the yoke off and press a new seal in, because these do not use a crush sleeve. They're shimmed. They're a shimmed pinion, so you don't have to fool with a crush sleeve and all that stuff. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than a crush sleeve, believe me. So pinion's going to stay in it for now. There was a little bit of differential fluid in it, enough to keep the bearings wet. And there's no rust at all in there, so I'm not gonna worry about any of that. Everything feels good and new. They might even be new, who knows. I might run a pattern on it, a gear pattern, just to check everything at some point, maybe in the next video. So let me get re-geared and cleaned up here, and then when I get back, we will be pulling the knuckles off. Okay, so we're back to pull the knuckles off. As before, I went ahead and broke the nuts loose because sometimes they can be a pain. So far these come off pretty easy. For this, on the 30s and I believe the 44 axles are all the same. The upper is a 7/8 and the lower is a big old socket, 1 1/8. So let's go ahead and pull these off of here. I'm going to leave the top nut on just a little bit. That way the knuckle doesn't come crashing down. So I'm pretty sure that these are the factory ball joints. I'm not sure. So there's like a little build-up place right here, like a strike face. You hit that, it shock loads everything, and the knuckle just falls off. If I'm not reusing the ball joints that are there, which I'm not in this case because, like I said, these are old ball joints, I apply a little heat. So I'm going to grab my torch, heat those up, and then we'll try to break them free. So, like I said, strike face right there, and just hit it till it falls off. And that was a lot easier than I expected. Lay that out of the way and try to get this side. Hopefully it's as easy. You guys don't know about map gas, it's in just, I don't know what size cylinder this is, but you can use them with propane heads, and it is so much more efficient than a propane cylinder. I mean, it gets stuff hotter way faster, and it lasts a lot longer because of that. And it's cheap. You can buy these cans at, literally you can buy them at Walmart. So let's whack on the passenger side. Same thing, super easy. Everything's going pretty good. Okay, so the next thing, I guess, let's punch the seals out, and that might be it for this video. I don't want to do the ball joints on a video because sometimes removing ball joints could be a video of its own, so that'll be done off camera. So let me go grab a little bar and get these seals out of here. Actually, I may just pry them out because I'm not going to be able to use these anyway. Nope, that's a press fit. So for punching seals out, I just use this old piece of copper ground rod I had laying around. It works. For punching the seals out, you don't need a hammer. You just kind of just tap them out. Yeah, these seals were definitely brand new, but I want to replace them with some spicers. I like to know that I've got spicer items on all my Jeep parts if possible. Same thing on this side. Yep, same thing. New seal, but oh well. So I think that might be it for this video. I may do another video on removing these later on. They can be a pain. I'm going to leave this one in because along with several other things, I have a gusset from Barnes for the passenger side upper control arm tower, which will go right in there, and you just run a bead all the way around, and that gusset allows everything to be stronger. I've got that gusset and many more from Barnes and used on other axles, and I run them on my TJ right now, and my TJ gets beat pretty good. So yeah, I think that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe. Like I said, new channel, first video, so subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at Jeeping with Johnson. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.